The British Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, is coming under increased pressure over what he knew about Peter Mandelson's links to Jeffrey Epstein when he appointed the former Labour minister as US ambassador. Now, in the US, President Donald Trump, well, he's urging Americans to move on.
I think it's really time for the country to get onto something else. Now that nothing came out about me, other than there was a conspiracy against me, literally, by Epstein and other people. But I think it's time now for the country to maybe get onto something else.
Well, joining us now is Simon Marks. Good luck with that, Simon. This scandal, this seems to be accelerating, if anything.
Well, it's definitely accelerating internationally, as you know, Corin. Here in the United States, President Trump insists that personally he has been absolved by the release of documents last Friday, 3 million of them that everyone's been poring over. And certainly those documents reveal more interesting and pertinent information about some of Donald Trump's associates politically, including his Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick and Elon Musk, and their involvement with Jeffrey Epstein, and we learn about the president himself. But there are still lingering questions about the president's involvement with the sex trafficking financier, not least because we discovered in these documents that prosecutors had prepared a summary of tips that had been provided by members of the public relating to what they claimed were criminal acts committed by the president and Mr. Epstein. Now, it's not clear from that document release whether those tips were ever investigated by prosecutors, whether they were deemed to be based on unreliable information, nor indeed is it clear why prosecutors put that summary sheet together, which is one reason why Democrats and some Republicans are saying they want even more documents to be released by the Department of Justice. Remember, they've held back another 3 million papers or thereabouts, citing the need to protect the confidentiality of Epstein's victims, and also citing the need to protect the sanctity of ongoing investigations arising from new information that they've said that they have gathered. But there's no doubt that the pressure for those additional documents to be released is mounting here, meaning that while President Trump can at least perhaps claim to be in a clearing, he can't entirely yet claim to be totally out of the woods.
It's staggering, just, I mean, as other countries around the world, search these files, and just how many people from across the academic sector, scientists. I mean, I'm reading in The Guardian about Noam Chomsky and Epstein, who is, of course, a famous sort of left-wing critic in linguistics as well. I mean, It just seems extraordinary, the breadth of this.
It is. I mean, his tentacles appear to have reached everywhere. It's not just Republicans who are in difficulty over this. Barack Obama's former White House counsel, Kathy Rumela, now a senior lawyer at a major international law firm here in the United States, is revealed to have provided sought advice from Jeffrey Epstein, at times provided advice to him, a whole load of damaging allegations and questions that she is facing here in the United States. I think that, overall, the sense is that Jeffrey Epstein and the elites were almost entirely as one. I mean, there's very few people that can actually claim they saw Mr. Epstein's monstrous behavior coming and shied away from it. Tina Brown, the former Vanity Fair editor, is one of those people who is proven to have declined an invitation because she sensed that there was something very wrong going on in Mr. Epstein's inner circle. But the mood here is one that has not been satiated by the release of all of those documents last Friday. There are demands for more, and we already know, you can stick a date in your diary, February the 26th, Hillary Clinton, the former Secretary of State, will be deposed by the House Oversight Committee about what she knew of Jeffrey Epstein's activities. She insists nothing. And the following day, February the 27th, her husband, former President Bill Clinton, who has been pictured not in any kind of compromising or criminal activities, but there are several images of Bill Clinton that have been released in those files. He will be testifying before that committee as well. So this story is only going to run and run here.
And is the possibility that other countries, I mean, look at the UK, I mean, Sir Keir Starmer's having to release a whole lot of documents and do inquiries to try and get that particular scandal under control with Mandelson, because he has acknowledged that he appointed him as the ambassador, even though he knew that Mandelson had had ongoing dealings with Epstein. So other stuff could come out as a result.
Oh, absolutely. And if you listen to the Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, at Prime Minister's Questions today, it was evident in the way in which he couched some of his answers that there is tremendous nervousness in Downing Street about the possibility that there is more information out there that they don't know about. And certainly, who knows how many times Mr. Mandelson is referenced in the millions of documents that are still within the Department of Justice archives that haven't been released. Certainly very, very difficult times. I think for the British Prime Minister, it's clear that the scandal's taint has not necessarily reached its concluding terminus. But difficulties, as you say, in other parts of the world as well, as the scale and scope of Epstein's connections continue to get revealed.
And Donald Trump, as you say, there were a number of unproven allegations in those files. He seems to be, staying above it at this point?
Yes, I mean, well, he's engaged in two separate approaches to this, Corin. One, of course, is to insist he can't believe that the world is still talking about Jeffrey Epstein. There's nothing to see. He was sort of, grudgingly forced to sign that law requiring the disclosure of all of these documents, a process kicked off by the president on the campaign trail in 2024, saying that he would release all the documents. But he was sort of cornered in an interview with Fox News into saying that, and very rapidly realized that he might have given something away that he didn't really want to promise to the electorate, and almost started walking it back before the words had left his mouth. But the other thing, of course, that Donald Trump is doing is claiming continuingly absolution. He's the man who he claims threw Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago. He's the man who realized earlier than most what a negative influence Jeffrey Epstein was on society. And for the moment, Donald Trump can continue making those claims because there's nothing concrete in the documents that directly tie him to any kind of inappropriate conduct apart from those allegations. And again, we don't know if those allegations were investigated, but allegations that were provided to the Department of Justice when they asked members of the public to furnish them with any information that they might have about Mr. Epstein's activities. And that request, by the way, for information is open-ended. They are still making it. And again, this is one of the reasons why they say they can't release all of the documents as the law requires, because they say they've got to protect the sanctity of whatever ongoing investigations might be underway.
Thank you very much for the update, Simon. Simon Marks, our US correspondent.